So in this video, I'm replacing the almost 40-year-old original damper felts with new ones from Vintage Vibe. Here you can see me scraping off the treble key damper felts, the black or original factory, I'm told, from asking questions on the forum boards. They look to be in good shape, but just on principle, since they're probably as old as the keyboard, I decided to replace them. The mid and bass damper felts looked a little more worn. They were getting kind of frayed, and you could see lines that had been crushed into them from where they pressed up against the tines, and they didn't seem to be doing as good a job. So they were coming off. Here I'm using a razor blade and a wood block, and I'm pressing the damper arms against the wood block and then scraping across it with the razor blade. It is leaving a little bit of felt behind, but after I got the majority of it scraped off, I came in with some 91% isopropyl alcohol, soaked the remaining damper felt that was still stuck to the damper arms in rubbing alcohol, in 91% isopropyl alcohol. And then I came back and scraped it off with a razor blade. And I made several passes in each section of the damper arms. And as you can see, they cleaned up pretty nicely with just a little tiny bit of glue still remaining on the damper arms. And after I had it all cleaned up, per the Vintage Vibe website, they recommended taking a pliers and putting just a little bit of a bend at the tip of the treble damper arms. Their damper felts are a little thinner and stand up on edge, so when you give a little bit of a bend at the end of the damper arm, that makes them perpendicular with the tines. Use the included E6000 adhesive, putting the damper felts on. And I would bump these, so I'd come back and straighten them out. I was also making sure to press each one firmly into place. Make sure there was good contact. can see I've switched and moved out of the treble end and toward the mid section, and those damper felts are shaped a little differently. Instead of being thinner and square, they're a little more of a cube. At some point in the process here, I will run out of the E6000 adhesive. So I had to run and find another that I had in stock in the house. I ended up using a thicker Gorilla Glue. Here's where I switched over to the Gorilla Glue. May have been just slightly thinner than the E6000 Vintage Vibe included. You can see on the very last base one, it drips down a little bit. And I didn't notice that, but I did come back and scrape it off with a razor blade after it had dried. There, everything's pressed into place. That's all for the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you next time.